Back here with In the Marbles, episode 70, your Formula One season preview for the 2021 season. Can't wait, even though I'm not a really big fan of Formula One yet. But maybe we'll see.
I don't know.
I'm a fan of Formula One, but I think later on in the episode, people will see why I'm not as big of a fan of Formula One as I was back in the past.
You were able to do a lot more preparing than I did, so I'm gonna be I'm kind of almost like gonna piggyback, but not quite. I'll have rebuttals.
I think you'll have rebuttals and opinions of your own here, but
sometimes we do seem to agree on a good bit of stuff. So it's
agree and disagree.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a lot of fun, and what's going to be fun about this episode, I feel, is that I got all 10 teams, all 20 drivers scheduled for the 2021 season for Formula One, starting in Bahrain here in a few months. It's going to be interesting, and how I'm going to do it is go through each team and talk about the drivers, and then say whether they're going to do better, worse, or stay the same for the coming up season.
All right.
So it should be quite interesting to check out here. And curious on your opinions and your rebuttals and all that stuff regarding it. It's going to be a lot of fun.
This is going to be fun.
And what we're going to do is start off with the defending champions, both Lewis Hamilton and Mercedes. Mercedes, 7 Constructors' Championships, 9 Drivers' Championships, and a total of 115 wins in their illustrious Formula One career. With, as far as we know, driver Valtteri Bottas with 9 wins and 56 podiums. Very consistent driver, even when he was with Williams. Lewis Hamilton is the big question mark.
Yes.
He's on the driver sheet. He's on the driver picture for the teams and stuff. But his contract hasn't signed, and people from Mercedes have said Lewis Hamilton's replaceable.
Oh, really?
I've seen the article on that. I'll try to pull it up for you guys before the end of the show to read it to you. But people have said he's replaceable.
Yeah,
he's asking for a lot of money.
That's the burning question right now. Like people, I know that some people that may be new to the sport really don't understand, but if you really follow, I understand. Like I said, new people you won't really understand, but people that have followed the sport very closely know that this is a very, very big burning question right now.
It really is, and 7 championships, 95 wins. Will he win 100 this year? He has to sign the contract to get a seat in the car. And 165 podiums in his career. Does he return in 2021, Preston? Yes or no?
I'm gonna say he does. I don't see why not. Maybe so. Okay, here's what I'm thinking, because I know a lot of people keep talking about the rumors of, well, maybe he'll retire. But some people are like, nah, he'll have to come back for one season and get some more wins, and then he'll retire.
Right. I agree 100% on that.
I think. Now, I do know that he's asking for a lot of money.
If you're going to go out with every record that you can.
Yeah, so what I'm thinking is, even though he's asking for a lot of money right now, when it gets time close to it, he'll probably bring that down and say, look, all right, I'll sign for this much. And maybe if he does break whatever records he wants to break, then maybe he will call it after that. But I don't even know how old he is. He's not even that old, to be honest.
He's not that old. He's no older than Kimi. He's not older than Kimi Räikkönen, I'll tell you that now.
No.
But, man... Does he return in 2021? I'm with you. I think he does return in 2021. I think he might cut a little bit back just to do one more season, possibly win that 8th championship, not only for Mercedes, but for himself, which is a big one. I think he goes out like that. I think he does return, like I said, but...
Well, like you said, with the Mercedes people saying that he's replaceable, I mean, we obviously saw it with George Russell when George Russell filled in.
And we talked about that in depth.
Yeah.
That, hey, George Russell, a guy from Williams who didn't do so hot, we'll get to that in a sec, coming into that car, leading the majority of the race in a botched pit stop, which, again, I don't understand how a team like Mercedes botches that up so bad where George Russell gets one taken away from him.
I mean, he was definitely on cruise control for that win.
He was, and, you know, I've said it, anybody could drive those cars. Anybody could get in that Mercedes and be competitive. Lewis Hamilton... if I was Mercedes, I'd be like, look, we'll just go to a Formula 2 driver who's hungry to go to a Formula 1 seat, give him a top seat. And if he does just as well as you, what's Lewis Hamilton except a name in the record book that one day will be erased?
Yeah, that's what people kept saying.
Not erased, replaced, I should say.
You could bring George Russell in and sign him for a minor fraction of what Lewis is asking for.
$2 million to $3 million, and George Russell would say, yeah, the heck with Williams, I'll take care of it.
Yeah. If I'm gonna win, yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I think he will come back, and I think he will go for that 8th championship. I expect Mercedes no changes. They're going to be running up front. They're going to be doing just fine in 2021. If you're a Mercedes fan, worry not, my friends.
Yeah.
The second place, the second team I'm talking about, I'm going in order. Spoiler alert of the Constructors Championship.
Of how you? Of this past season.
Of this past season.
Okay, I thought you were about to say if what you thought it was going to finish this season.
Oh no, well this might be the way Aaron's out, but I don't think so. I think the second, third, and fourth one might be the shakeup here.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too.
Red Bull is second. 4 drivers in construction championships with 1 driver. Pop quiz. Who's that one driver?
4 constructors championships with 1 driver.
4 constructors and 4 drivers championships with 1 driver. Red Bull. Who was it? Mr. Formula One.
I don't know. I haven't done my complete history shakeup yet. I'm just now. I finally found these videos on YouTube that go through like the whole season. So like I'm on this 1992 season right now.
Okay, well it was Sebastian Vettel.
So should be punching myself in the face right now for that one. I'll just be right back, everybody.
Well, they got 2 really awesome drivers. Max Verstappen, who is definitely the future of Formula One right there, with 10 wins, 2 in 2020. And then Sergio Perez, a new face to the team, replacing the Alex Albon. And my big question is this. Is Sergio Perez coming into Red Bull going to be the next Alex Albon, or will he be the next Max Verstappen?
I think he'll be in between.
Oh, I mean, I don't know, man.
I don't think he'll be able to rival. Well, let's be real. Max Verstappen is probably driver 1, the first driver.
Absolutely, he is.
So I'm sure more of the resources are going to be focused on him, but they may try and spread that out a little bit because Sergio Perez has proven himself very much.
He has, but I mean,
I'm not saying that Alex Albon is a terrible driver, but I mean, I guess they could wait for him to develop another year or two. But Sergio Perez is only on like a 1-year deal because he keeps talking about how he's got options for 2022.
Right.
So he's only gonna be there for a year. So I'm thinking he's gonna be almost like Verstappen, but not quite.
Right. I think so too. But I think Verstappen is the leader of that team, undoubtedly.
Oh yeah, without question.
And with Max Verstappen leading the charge, who is it going to rival? I don't think Red Bull is there to rival Mercedes. In fact, anyone I don't think is to rival Mercedes. Mercedes into a whole nother league of their own. But I do think Verstappen and Red Bull with that new driver Sergio Perez to the team, I should say, new driver with Sergio Perez, who had 1 season in the Bahrainian circle outer loop, will do the same as they did last year. They'll finish up there in the Constructors' Championship, and who knows, they might surprise us and win and make a run for that Constructors' Championship.
I think it'll be a little bit closer.
But I don't think they're going to run for a Drivers' Championship if Mercedes has the season they did last season.
Yeah, I predict that the Constructors will be a little bit closer between Mercedes and Red Bull 1 and 2. I don't know. I won't say it. I'm not going to completely say that, hey, Red Bull's going to come right out the gate and get ready because they're about to upset everybody. I think it'll be close. But, like, I'm with you. I think that 2 through 4, when we get to there, I think that's going to be what the main battle will be all season long.
And I got another note there. Do you think Max Verstappen will continue to rise?
Yes.
Okay.
I think he gets a couple of wins this season. I'm going to say... ooh, man, I dare say it, man, because it's hard because when Lewis Hamilton gets out there, that's it.
Yeah, that's it. That's all she wrote.
I'm going to say 3 wins for Verstappen.
I think it will be 2. I think Red Bull does the same as they did last year with a little bit more success and a little more maybe fighting for that Constructors' Championship with Sergio Perez behind the wheel.
Now, I'll say he'll get 3 wins, but I think Red Bull will continue to get the podiums. Maybe they'll get a lot of third-place finishes. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or maybe they can get in between Lewis Hamilton and Valtteri Bottas.
Maybe. We'll see. And Verstappen's a good qualifier, too, so we'll have to wait and see on that. I think they will go up there and try to throw a wrench in that system, but that's going to be a tall order for anybody. Number 3, McLaren, 3rd in the Constructors' Championship. And this is going to be a good one.
This is the team I'm excited for.
This is the team I'm excited for, too. Daniel Ricciardo joins that lineup along with Lando Norris. Lando only had 1 podium in 2020. But, Daniel Ricciardo, this is his 3rd team in like 3-4 years. Red Bull, Renault, and now McLaren. I think he's trying to find this niche. I don't think he's going to really bring anything to that team that he didn't bring to Renault and that he didn't bring to
Red Bull.
And Ricciardo's a great driver. Don't get me wrong about that. But is he really a top tier Formula One driver, or is he a good name? He's the Clint Boyer of Formula One, in my opinion.
Okay.
Danny Ricciardo is. Great guy to be around. You want to have a beer with him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely you do. But is he a good Formula One driver that can stay here for the long haul with McLaren, and then maybe, because he's already had a seat in Red Bull, and that didn't work out. Went to Renault, that didn't work out. Now he's going to McLaren. Is it the name, or is it the driving ability of Daniel Ricciardo that keeps landing him in these top rides?
I think he just has some bad luck at times. I think that's all it is. I think he's a good driver.
Well, every driver has bad luck from time to time, but his is persistent.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I think he is a top driver. Now, will he be around the sport for years to come? I don't know. I would give him a couple more years. He's really got to prove himself in the next year or two. That's what I would say.
No, he would. He has to.
He's got to.
100%.
He's kind of like Matt DiBenedetto at this point. He needs to prove himself.
Yeah. He can't beat himself.
Yeah, he can't beat himself. So, will
it hurt or help McLaren in the long run?
Ooh. Because Carlos...
Lando Norris is still young.
Yeah.
Growing, developing.
I don't know. I dare say I don't think McLaren does any better this year.
No, I think they're stay to say maybe. No, I don't think they're going to do any better. Maybe if anything, they're going to do worse.
Yeah.
I mean, they got a lot of money coming in, finishing third in the constructors' championships, but I don't see them rivaling. I apologize. Red Bull anytime in the
Carlos
future.
Sainz did very well with them.
He did. He very much did.
Now with the Ricciardo coming in and Lando Norris not doing all that great this
Which is
year.
an upgrade for McLaren. I mean, or for Ricciardo, I should say, going from Renault to McLaren.
Yeah.
A little bit more money coming in, little positivity. They might surprise us all, but I think they do the same, if not a little worse this year.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, if they do better, man, that's great. Prove me wrong. But
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know. Really thinking about it, I'm kind of with you. I think they do about the same, if not just a little bit worse.
Yeah, that's the way I
mean,
feel.
they had a
that.
stellar season last year, but I don't know. Third in the constructors' standings was good for them, but I don't know. I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see.
We're gonna have to absolutely wait and see. All right, number 4, team with your shirt on there.
Yep.
Except it's not pink anymore. It's
Nope.
green. Aston Martin.
Aston Martin.
Aston Martin. Thank you. Sebastian Vettel. I could talk about Sebastian Vettel for hours. One of the 4 championships in a row with Red Bull and won Red Bull 4 constructors championships, put them on the map as a competitive Formula One team for the future, for the foreseeable future. Finished 13th in the 2020 standings. Let's think about this. A 4-time champion in a top-tier team at the time, finishing 13th in the standings. I don't know if this is going to help Aston Martin. I think Sebastian Vettel had one or two things going on. A, he saw the writing on the wall. Ferrari's going to cut him. Charles Leclerc is the future of that team.
Mm-hmm.
So he wanted to seat in Formula One. And with Perez going to Red Bull, he wanted to jump into any team just to stay in the Formula One. It's kind of like one day, a long time ago, and this is a NASCAR analogy, where Kurt Busch was going from Penske, got cut from Penske, and was trying to look for something, and Richard Childress just said, stay in the sport, and something good will come of it. I think that's where either he's at now, or 2, he's just done.
Well, Aston Martin was the rumored to be looking at him to begin with, and that's why Sergio Perez ended up leaving. He still had a year left on his contract. He was still supposed to be signed to this year.
Right.
And I think Aston Martin, formerly Racing Point, Sahara Force India, we can go on with list of names.
Right.
I think they paid him to kind of just be like, hey,
We'll buy you out of your contract.
we'll buy you out because it was rumored for a while, and I think I had mentioned to you that Lawrence Stroll was seen with Sebastian Vettel quite a bit of times at different tracks hanging out.
Right.
And it was kind of, I think the writing was on the wall that, hey, they were going to go out and get him if they could get Perez, if they could kick him out, which I wouldn't say kick him out, but pretty much buy him out and say, hey, you got to go, dude. He was there for a while, but
I do think this will help Lance Stroll, who is still, I believe, developing as a driver, Canadian driver. I think this will help out Lance Stroll in the long run because Vettel has the know-how of all these tracks. But Lance Stroll finished 11th in the standings, so how much more help does he really need? But Aston Martin finishing 4th in Constructors' Championship, we talked about on the previous episodes on our season review for Formula One, or I think more so expectations, that these guys are wanting to go there, and now they got wind in their sails. They beat some of the big powerhouse teams like Renault and Ferraris in the Constructors' Championship. And I think this year, the success will carry over from 2020 into 2021 for both of these guys, and maybe Sebastian Vettel breaks that winless streak that has just been weighing down on his shoulders since his days in Ferrari, and Lance Stroll might possibly get a few podiums in here. I
will pretty much agree with you there. I think Sebastian Vettel coming over to Aston Martin, I think this is going to help him again. I think he may struggle at first, is what I'm trying to say. I think he's going to struggle at first because he's probably not used to being up front and battling lately because Ferrari's had a lot of mishaps. So he's been more of that mid-tier kind of guy because Ferrari's been struggling. But I think coming into this equipment, which obviously has proved to be much better than Ferrari this past season, I think Vettel's going to turn some things around. He might turn some heads this year. May get a win in there. Maybe. But
I think Aston Martin with those two guys does better than they do. I think it's going to be them and McLaren battling out for that third place on the podium, let's say, for the Constructors' Championship, as well as maybe possibly battling Red Bull from time to time for
that would be
second.
Interesting. I can't wait to see what those green cars look like on the track.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun to see. All right, number five. Number 5 is Renault. The French Formula One team, Renault.
Which is now going to become Alpine.
Ah, thank you.
Alpine F1.
Alpine F1. We'll just say Alpine F1.
Yeah.
So, 5th in 2020 for the Constructors' Championship has a driver coming back that hasn't raced since 2018 in Fernando Alonso, a past champion of the sport. How well does Fernando Alonso adjust to being out of the car for that amount of time? 3 years is a long time to be out of anything. And to jump right back in. And yeah, he'll have preseason testing and all that stuff. But will he adjust well being 3 years removed from that car? And last car he was in was a Ferrari. No, it was a McLaren. It was a McLaren because he joined with McLaren. So maybe a little downgrading here for Fernando. But I think Renault's bringing him back because of what we talked about with Ricciardo. He's an established name in Formula One, and I don't know if he'll adjust well or not. I don't foresee it. I think this was a bad move on Renault's parts, and then they got Esteban Ocon as well. But I think now Fernando, just being his name, is going to go up to number 1 driver, and Ocon doesn't have a chance to spread his wings and fly. But first question: how does Fernando Alonso adjust to the cars coming out of 3 years of retirement?
It's going to take a little bit.
I think
just
so
like
too.
how I compared it with Sebastian Vettel, going to be needing to get used to running near the front.
Right.
I think, I dare say just in general that Renault, this might be a downgrade in general, and this isn't going to look too good for him this season.
This is a gamble.
This is a big gamble. And I'm not saying that Esteban Ocon is a bad driver at all.
No, we're not saying that. Because if you're driving Formula One, you have talent.
Yeah. I don't know. Like you say, with him being out of the car for 3 years, yikes. And, with the preseason testing, whatever, but I don't know. It may take him a little bit to get used to it.
I think so, too. And Esteban Ocon finishing 12th in the driver's standings in 2020. I don't know if... I think he might be on the uphill climb, but it really depends on the team as a whole, I figure, in Formula One. And with those two drivers, one being out of the sport for 3 years, since the second, in Esteban Ocon being a relatively young driver in sports still, I think Renault does worse than they did this year.
And Alpine has a new team boss with Cyril out. Let's see if I can read this name correctly. This guy came from MotoGP. He's an ex-MotoGP boss.
That's going to be interesting.
I want to say it's spelled Davide, so I want to say David almost.
David
Brivio.
Is he Italian?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
But-
or else I would have said this preview.
But I clicked on the article, but the article wasn't completely loading.
It's okay.
He is Italian. There it is right there.
Look at that.
Italian, yeah. So I don't really know the big stats on this guy. I haven't had the chance to really look into him to see what all he did, but
Well, he's coming in a whole new world from MotoGP to Formula 1.
Exactly. So,
oh boy.
Woof.
I think Renault's just shooting themselves in the foot. I'm changing my answer from maybe saying the same, but to definitely downgrading this season. They're going to do worse this season than they did last season. But prove me wrong.
He led the team that he came from. He said the article says that he arrives with a wealth of experience, having fronted Suzuki's MotoGP project, leading them to a championship last season.
MotoGP is in Formula 1.
Exactly. So, what do you say again?
We'll have to wait and see. Holy cow.
This is, like you said, this is a big gamble on Alpine's part.
Yeah, this really is with Fernando Alonso with MotoGP team principal coming in and Esteban Ocon. I don't think those recipes...
They finished, what, 5th in the Constructors
They
last
finished
season?
5th in the Constructors Championship. I don't think those ingredients make up for a good team. Do worse.
Dare say they will not finish higher than 5th for sure.
Come back to 2020. Come back in 2022, and let's see how you do then.
Yeah.
Because holy cow.
Wow.
It's not going to be good for them. Okay. The next one. Real big shocker for me. High hopes every year for this team, not only from my seat, but from all the Italian fans. The Tifosi. Ferrari. Scuderia Ferrari. Finishing 6th. It took me so long to find this, and I stopped after 30 years of going into the past. Their 6th place finish in the Constructors' Championship is the worst in 30 years. I didn't even go back further.
Wow.
In 30 years of racing, or from 1990 until 2020, I didn't go past there because I would have taken me forever. But in past 30 years, the lowest they've been prior to that is 4th.
Wow.
A 6th place is crazy. They were 2nd last year. Mm-hmm. They lost 4 spots in that in that Constructors Championship.
They sank big time.
So the real question is, how will Ferrari rebound? Or will they continue sinking?
I'm not going to say they're going to continue sinking. I dare say there may be a rebound this season, but it won't be much. Yeah, they got Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz now, but it wasn't all about the talent. It was just the bad luck that the team was having in general last year is what it was. There was a lot of...
I don't think luck has
Well,
anything.
it wasn't just bad luck. It was just performance.
Lack of preparation.
Yeah.
Everybody was in the same boat. Mercedes did fine. Red Bull did fine. McLaren, at the time, Racing Point, Renault did fine. I don't think Sebastian Vettel's head was in it anymore. I think he was done.
Yeah.
Carlos Sainz moving over. Does that help? I don't know. It's his chance to sink or swim right now in that Ferrari. And clearly, Charles Leclerc is right up there with Max Verstappen. I think those two are going to be big rivals. It's going to be Red Bull versus Ferrari before we know it. But Charles Leclerc, the number one driver in that team, I wonder more so, will Charles Leclerc lead Ferrari out of the slump they're in right now?
Well, we've talked about it before. Should there be changes within the organization?
Yeah.
Because obviously they're not going to make any changes right now.
It was Ferrari engines as a whole, not only Ferrari, but Alfa Romeo and Haas did horrible in the Constructors' Championship. So is it Ferrari as an engine builder or Ferrari as a constructor? I think it's more of an engine builder thing.
Yeah.
They need to really look at that and figure out those turbocharged hybrids and figure out what they need to do in order to go forward and just forget about 2020. Everybody just forget about 2020.
Yeah.
Move on to March at Bahrain and go out there firing on all cylinders. Make sure all your I's are dotted and T's are crossed and go out there and do it. Because if they have another season like this, they're going to keep going down, and pretty soon Ferrari's going to be the next Williams of Formula One.
I think they finish ahead of Alpine. I think they bump up a spot.
Better than Alpine. I say Charles Leclerc's got to be the leader here. Carlos Sainz has to be just as much of a powerhouse in that team in order for them to do anywhere as good. But just based on last year's performance with Ferrari engines and Ferrari as a whole, same if not worse. And
I mean, that's not.
And I hate saying that because Ferrari's such a staple in the sport, but finishing 6th in the Constructors' Championship, and said it on the show before, they're lead brick sinking in the water if something doesn't change right now. They need to pull out of that dive because after 30 years, far back as 1990, and finishing no lower than 4th in those 30 years and always being up there fighting for a Constructors' Championship, they lost a lot of money.
I think they
and that's only going to hurt them. That's only going to hurt them in the future.
I'm gonna say I think they pull out of it a little bit. I don't think it's gonna be a drastic change this year.
No, that's why I say better or worse. Change. Better or worse.
I'm gonna say a little bit better than what they were. Like I said, I think it'll be between them and Alpine battling up for that 5th spot. I don't think they really
unless something changes.
Aston Martin will at this point, the way Aston Martin looked this past season, Aston Martin will be like, Ferrari, whatever.
Yeah, I think that's the way a lot of people are starting to feel now. Ferrari, who?
Yeah, okay.
Which is crazy. I never thought I'd see the day. Finishing 7th in the Constructors' Championship in 2020, Alpha Tauri.
Alpha Tauri.
Thank you. Golly, good thing I'm the NASCAR guy here. Alpha Tauri here. Pierre Gasly won winning that exciting Italian Grand Prix, one of probably the most exciting races we've seen all year because Lewis Hamilton wasn't in the lead. Pierre Gasly, and I am going to try this so hard to pronounce this. The first Japanese Formula One driver since 2014, and Kobayashi. I remember Kobayashi because I've heard that name a lot. Yuki. We're just going to call him Yuki.
What's his last name?
Okay,
can I see it?
Okay, you can see it. Yeah, right there.
Wait, where's it at?
Right
I'm sorry. Sonoda, because it's an A at the end, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say like
Sonoda.
That's what I would say.
It's going to be very interesting. I like Japanese Formula One drivers. I think they're a talented country that produce Formula One drivers, and the first one since Kobayashi in 2014, I think is going to bring a lot of attention back to Japan and the Japanese Grand Prix. Because the only driver I really remember in Formula One that's from Japan is Takuma Sato, who went from Formula One in his first podium in the 2004 United States Grand Prix in Indianapolis and went on to accomplish so much in all the racing, including winning the Indianapolis 500.
Wow.
You didn't know that?
No.
It's going to be interesting. But this team, I think there's really not much to say about him. Pierre Gasly, hit or miss. He's consistent, but he's hit or miss, I would say. I don't know anything about this Yuki guy coming in from Japan. It's going to be interesting seeing him race in his first season in Formula One. But with those two combinations, I say they do about the same. They run about 7th in the Constructors' Championships. Not really much to write on with these guys.
No.
They don't really make a lot of waves like the Ferraris, Red Bulls, Renaults, or Alpines do at the moment. But I think they're still a developing team and growing, and finishing 7th in the Constructors' Championship isn't horrible for such a small caliber team that they are. So it's going to be interesting to see, but I think they stay the same. I'm not expecting anything crazy from this team.
I can agree with you there. There's not much there. It'd just be kind of like a Pierre Gasly will be trying to build off of what he somewhat did last year. He was kind of, like you said, hit or miss. And then this other guy, it's just, man, I don't know. I dare say about the same.
Yeah, I say about the same as well. All right, number 8. Surprise to me with the level of talent and experience on this team. Alfa Romeo finishing 8th in the Constructors' Championship last year. Kimi Räikkönen. Can he keep it up? I saw this debate, and it said, is Kimi Räikkönen holding up a spot for a younger, talented driver to step up to Formula One?
No, I think it's solely to do with performance issues in general with Alfa Romeo.
Again, Ferrari engines.
Yeah, I don't think Kimi Räikkönen is a veteran, the Iceman.
Yeah, but you don't bring in Terry Labonte back right now and say race with the Kyle Bushes.
Right, but I mean he's been there for a while.
Yes.
So it's not. I don't think he's really holding anybody up. Maybe he races. I don't know what his contract situation looks like, but. Maybe he races one more year or something. I don't know. I don't. Like I said, I don't think it's that big of a deal.
No, I get it. He's a figure in Formula One, and it's great to see him race. It's fun to see him watch him race. But 16th in the Constructors' Championship, and his teammate Giovinazzi Giovinazzi.
Antonio Giovinazzi.
Grazie. Raises or falls, I think he just goes with the tempo of that team. Maybe they get a better engine from Ferrari, but here's something I didn't even notice. Remember when Nico Hülkenberg substituted this season?
Nico Hülkenberg.
You remember?
For who?
I forget for who.
For Racing Point?
I think it was Racing Point,
Yeah,
like Perez or
he did it twice.
or Stroll.
I think well, he just did it for 2 races in a row. Silverstone. It was for Lance Stroll. I think it was because
he got COVID.
Yeah, whichever one got COVID, but I know that Hülkenberg didn't get to start one of the races, so he only got to race the other one. But he did pretty good.
Yeah, listen to this. Nico Hülkenberg raced 2 races this season. Giovinazzi and Kimi Räikkönen raced all, 17?
Yeah.
Kimi Räikkönen finished 16th in the points. Giovinazzi finished 17th in the points. Nico Hülkenberg racing 2 races finished 15th in the points. How does that work? And I get it. The points are a weird thing, and if you finish outside the top 10, you don't get a point. You race 2 races and beat guys who raced 17 races.
Yep.
That's crazy. But, man, I mean, I see Alfa Romeo. If something happens with Ferrari, maybe find a new engine developer or Mercedes or anything like that.
I really think it has to come down with the performance.
I think it's a Ferrari engine.
Yeah.
And if Ferrari doesn't fix it, I feel like they're going to stay the same, if not do worse.
I think Alfa Romeo could do better if that was the case. But like you say, the Ferrari engines, I think this is what could be holding them back.
I really do. And Ferrari engines should, I mean, that's disappointing, but watch out. And I think Alfa Romeo does better, just about the same for 2021.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I have to say. But that Nico Hülkenberg stat kind of blew me away. He finished 15th and raced 2 races.
Mm-hmm. Yikes.
Jeez. Number 9, an American team. Haas, Formula One team. In the same boat, I feel like, with Alfa Romeo, with those Ferrari engines. But 2 drivers coming in, 2 fresh drivers, Kevin Magnussen and... Kevin Magnussen and Roman Grosjean.
Mazepin.
Roman Grosjean and Kevin Magnussen, both being replaced.
Yeah.
Bringing in Mick Schumacher, who's going to, I think, be the leader of that team, just for his name's sake.
Yeah.
Schumacher. Maybe will help lead the team out of that slump. We'll see. We talked about it a few episodes ago, where the success of the father doesn't necessarily translate to success for the son when it comes to auto racing. But then Nikita,
I say Mazepin.
Nikita Mazepin, who a lot of people feel like he shouldn't even be in that seat.
Well, after that whole debacle that he had.
There was a whole thing on Instagram where there was a video of him, and he posted it of him. I don't know if the woman was drunk or something, but he did inappropriate stuff.
Yeah.
Stuff you shouldn't do to a woman.
Especially not on camera.
Especially anytime. You shouldn't do it anytime. It's inexcusable what he did. Even if that, I don't know. And anyway, a lot of people think he shouldn't be in there. A lot of NASCAR fans even commented on Twitter. It's a big firestorm on Twitter. So I feel like, I don't know him. I've never heard of this Russian. Mazepin, if he continues with the team, that's on Haas. I think that a lot of support would be lost because of Haas, because of that incident. But I feel like Mick Schumacher is the time to take the reins and lead that team out of the slump they are in. But it really depends on their engine, the future for their engines. Because I don't think they build the engines in-house. I think they get them from Ferrari. So does Alfa Romeo. But they got to figure out something. But for that being said, I think Haas does just the same, maybe a little better. I have hope because they're an American team. But I think they do just the same, if not a smidge better, in 2021.
Yeah, I agree there too. I look for Mick Schumacher to do not big things, but definitely they may try some things. I don't know. Maybe they'll turn around a little bit there. But I won't expect way too much out of that.
A little better, if not the same,
Yeah.
for 2021 for the Haas organization. And the final one, a team rich in history, a team that in our movie review was up there with the likes of Felipe Massa and at the time Valtteri Bottas. Williams finished 10th in the Constructors' Championships. George Russell, though, showed that he can be a top-tier Formula One driver when he ran in a Mercedes. He showed that. He showed that it isn't all driver, it's mainly car. You put anybody in there that you can. And I think that's why Mercedes is at the point there is now. Look, we can put anybody in this car and they're going to be competitive.
Yep.
Humble yourself there, Hamilton. Nicholas Latifi, 21st in 2020, didn't really shine, didn't really do much.
He was out-qualified by George Russell all the time.
Williams is a field filler, a back marker, however you want to call it in the Formula One world. I don't see any changes coming in from that organization. A few shakeups at the top, but nothing really I think that will lead into success in 2021. They stay the same. I doubt they get better, but that is all I got. You have anything to say about Williams?
Nope, I agree completely 100%. It's going to be about the same. George Russell will probably continue to out-qualify his teammate Nicholas Latifi at almost every single race and probably finish ahead of him.
I agree.
In the back of the field, though.
100%. But you have anything else before we wrap up the season? Okay, overall, I think I'm looking forward to the season. I'm hoping it's not a Mercedes runaway. And I'll get more into that coming in to our movie review coming up here. But I hope for a great, exciting, down to the wire, down to the final race, down to Abu Dhabi.
Man, wouldn't that be great?
Formula One season. And just hoping as well, I want to see Australia back on the track. But just hoping for a great all-around season for Formula One. I can't wait. Should be a lot of fun. You have any takeaways or expectations before we...
Nope. Like I said, we talked about, I think Red Bull may make it a little bit closer, but the way things are, but hey, we still have to wait and see because we don't know if Lewis Hamilton is really going to race this season since he hasn't signed a contract. But if he does sign the contract, then I would dare say that Red Bull is going to be a little bit closer, but not completely close.
I think either way, Lewis Hamilton's on the downhill swing of his career. What else does he have to prove in Formula One except maybe going that way with an 8th championship, breaking Michael Schumacher's record of 7? And going off into the sunset with over 100 wins, 8 championships. What else do I need to prove? I'm done. Bye.
I think this will be when he does come.
If he does come, but I think he will.
I think this is it. This last season, last hurrah.
That's right.
So
I agree too. But if nothing else, Preston, I will dare say that is our Formula One season preview. Can't wait for it. It's going to be a lot of fun. Can't wait for March in the Formula One season for the lights out at now Bahrain. But what we're going to do now is go ahead and hear an ad read from Fanatics and a few from the Unhinged Sports Network. This is In the Marbles, and we'll be right back after this. Hey, race fans, want more In the Marbles content? Make sure to subscribe below and check out our videos over here